Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For now, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. And become a member and join Patreon and Rayfax.eth domain name. Gotta love them. Anyway, so we will start with OMI, or I guess we'll start with why I bought more OMI today as opposed to something else. I did post a tweet last night saying that I was going to absolutely degen into something today. And when I went to send Bitcoin from Cash App to Uniswap, I didn't have much. It was just a couple $100s. It just disappeared. The Coinbase, the Bitcoin disappeared. So I was going to get into Mong, M-O-N-G, but unfortunately, again, because the Bitcoin just disappeared, I was like, okay, that's the OMI gods just telling me I should not have strayed. They're punishing me for it. So I did wind up buying another million OMI. That does bring me up to 166 million. That is one step closer to the goal. I did buy it off somebody's Veve app. I didn't go and do it off of the regular market. So it's not anything that would have had any effect, any little spike or anything. Because again, it was only a million OMI anyway, so it wasn't like I was buying like 10 million, enough for it to spike. But aside from that, we do have some updates with it. There's less than $700,000 in volume today. We are down 2.5%, and it is 680,000 in volume. So it doesn't really look like a good day, and I'm not 100% sure how the rest of the market did. Bitcoin and Ethereum are up. Most other things are fairly even. Some are down, some are up. But yeah, so didn't do too well against markets. Like I said, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm happy if it stays down here the rest of the year. Do I think it does? No. Like I said in my super bullish video, with all these catalysts going, I really do expect it to move latest by Q4, but it could possibly move in Q3, depending on what happens. So anyway, the M-O-N-G, the Mong, I do like that kind of in the short to mid-term, the next couple months. But again, it's not something that, even if that Bitcoin does show up, and I'll just send it back, I'll just cash it out, I'll do whatever. I probably won't get it now. Because again, by the time this video comes out, by the time I go and if that ever does clear, if they ever do get back to me, I don't know what the price will be, but I'll keep y'all posted. So we wound up getting a Medium article 2 days in advance. It's going to be for Star Wars Day for May 4th. Again, if you aren't privy to it, May the 4th be with you. So it is Luke Skywalker. That is one of the things that we're getting. Again, we did have that Admiral Akbar be leaked. So I do expect other Star Wars stuff eventually. Luke is not the only Star Wars thing. I'll get to the other Star Wars thing that was announced, but for right now, we'll start with Luke. We'll start with the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly, some people are just saying that his face, he looks like Mick Jagger, which I'm not going to lie. Mick Jagger's kind of fine. Like, he can get relatively any woman inside the world. At least he could have years ago. Again, now he's a little bit older. But anyway, they're just not 100% excited with the animation. But I remember a lot of people saying that with other animations, with other like Cookie Monster or other things, where they don't look that great on the Medium article, which again, it's not a Medium article, it's on the Veve blog site, where they don't look that great on that, but then they actually happen to look fairly good in AR. So again, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is just the fact that it is Luke Skywalker. You have the rare that is animated with sound. The price point is, and the mints are slightly higher than I would have liked, but again, this is a premium collectible. This is something that, you can never have another first. The same way that old saying that all our parents used to say, you can never get a second chance at a first impression. This is a first for him on the blockchain. And I know a lot of people will go and say, well, actually, it was the comic that was the first one on the blockchain that has, and again, there's some certain people that are going to believe that and are going to, which again is technically true. You did have him in comic book version on the app at first, but again, for his actual statue, his actual collectible, this has the FA, this has whatever. So I can't really complain too much. And again, this is a blind box, so you might not get the rare, which again, some people might want it just because it is animated. It does have sound. There is something that I did want to go over, where this is supposed to be the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, but the quote that it has for the rare is saying, "You'll find that I'm full of surprises," which is actually from the 5th movie. It's actually from Empire Strikes Back. So I'm actually kind of confused why they did that, but again, that's a question for them. Anyway, there are 3,977 of him, which means 3887, because again, they keep the first 90. And then you have one that is the ultra rare, which is much, much scarcer at 925. That's the ultra rare, which really means 835. So again, much less than 1,000. And then you do have the secret rare, where it says, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me." One of the most fantastic lines, because again, he's saying this to Darth Vader, to his actual father in this. Even though he is Darth Vader, Anakin does still reside within him, at least just a little bit. We catch glimpses of him every now and then. Anywho, that one's only 519 of him, But again, because they keep 90, that's 429. That is very, very scarce. That is... A lot of people are asking if this is going to sell out or not. I mean, there is a lot going on. You do have the crafting for the Soul Stone. You do have the Infinity Gauntlet. You do have both Thanos's. So there is a lot going on that's not including the other Star Wars drops that we're going to get. One of which is including Admiral Thrawn. And I found some really interesting data with this. So before I get to that, we'll just say with Luke, if this happens to sell out, because again, there aren't a ton of them considering the grand scheme of things. Again, you've had stuff like Marvel Mighties, which you've had 5 different people, and the Commons had 28,000 of them, just them, and they weren't animated, they weren't anything. And more on the Mighties in a second, but we have in a couple minutes. With Luke Skywalker, if this sells out, this is $300,000 in one go. Does it sell out? I don't know. I mean, I do think that people are going to want to gamble. Again, it limits the amount of times that they can gamble and can roll that dice because it's $60. You don't want to go and spend, I'm gonna roll 20. I'm gonna open 20 blind boxes just to get a couple secret rare. Because that would be about $1,200, and that's quite a lot. And even if you get multiple secret rare, you might be able to sell them for several hundred. It just might be hard to make your money back. And again, who knows if these are some things that you might be able to go and burn every now and then. Again, for Disney, for all their stuff, you cannot have any utility with them unless they announce it beforehand. However, with Marvel, even though it's a Disney subsidiary, they clearly did not do that. So maybe with Star Wars, it is something, it might fall in between. They might say, oh, hey, yes, we can burn some of these because of X, Y, and Z. Again, that might just be Disney that does that. It might not include Star Wars. Because again, Marvel is part of Disney, but it doesn't follow the same rules as Disney. There's a little more leeway in there. Maybe there's not as much red tape, or the lawyers figured out a more crafty way to do certain things. I don't know. But comment down below if you would ever burn a Luke Skywalker. So anyway, we will go to the other Star Wars news, which is Admiral Thrawn. So be advised, a couple of my whales, which are, well, I shouldn't say mine. These ones are just kind of independent that just know me. They are not, they're not 20 years old. And if you're taking a look at Thrawn from, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, at Rebels, etc., that is, it's like 20-year-old, 20 years old, where a lot of people really got into him. So you would expect someone maybe in their 20s or 30s that kind of grew up with that. But it is different. The couple of whales that I know that are into Thrawn are more into Thrawn and are more excited about Thrawn than they are for Luke Skywalker. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he's a villain, and maybe some Freudian psychological whatever can go explain that. But yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting. So again, we just got Thrawn announced. We won't get that Veve blog post article until tomorrow, announcing all the mints and all that jazz. So I'm pretty excited to see what that entails. Again, hit the subscribe button. I'll be doing updates every single day on it. So after that, I guess we'll go to the Marvel Mighties, which on yesterday, I missed this yesterday. It is shame on me for not watching Old Rhubarb's video on the Infinity Gauntlet, just because I got the Medium article, so I didn't really feel a need to go deep down the rabbit hole with that. But on that video that he did, Reverend Alex G comes on and he explains certain things about the Soul Stone and about these stones, etc., etc. And when talking about the Tesseract, it's like, oh, hey, well, we have the Tesseract as an actual collectible, but we also have Red Skull, which has a Tesseract. Could we, if we didn't want to go and burn our Tesseract, could we burn Red Skull? And Alex says, oh, no, we have to protect those Mighties at all costs. I don't know if that's really a reference to Mace Windu, where in Star Wars Episode 2, he says, protect the Senator at all costs. That was in the trailer. I saw that a bunch of times. Anyway, when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But maybe that was just because, one Tesseract versus the other, but Mighties were left conspicuously absent on that list. Again, on that list, you had so many different Marvel characters that you could burn. They didn't have to be animated. They could be whatever. The only ones out of that list, I think, were the Marvel Mighties, were the Ms. Marvel, not the Ms. Marvel. It was the Sue Storm podium thing where she's invisible, the one that only costs $1. That one, and then there was one other one, I forget. Comment down below which one it was. But later in the video, they were talking about oh, what can we burn for this? I think they were talking about the Soul Stone at this point. Can we burn do we have to burn our Marvel Mighties? And he says, no, you should know this, Old Rhubarb, for the second time. We have to protect the Mighties at all costs. So, of course, when I woke up this morning and woke up to a dozen messages about the Mighties, in conjunction with the floors of them going haywire. It was absolutely bananas, and which is fine with me. I 100% love everything about them. But here was my theory. Everyone say, yo, is Marvel Mighty's going to be gamified? Are we going to have this? Cavell Anderson called this. And it's like, okay, yes, I do remember Cavell Anderson going over a video. I forget what it was. I think one of the guys that owned the company that he did the video on does have a share in a OMI. And it's like, oh, yes, could you imagine this with the Marvel Mighties? They look like it. Be advised, if you take a look at how long Disney Plus took to come out, Netflix was out since like 2005. Disney Plus didn't come out until over 10 years later. And this kind of goes to show you that says, okay, well, Disney is okay not being first to market because they can let other people go first. They can let them make the mistakes because Disney has all the IP that you could ever want. So I don't think that Disney would really want to go and be, if people are saying, oh, these are going to be gamified or these are going to be part of the Veveverse. Again, Disney just fired their metaverse team not too long ago. Even if they went and tapped Veve on the shoulder and said, hey, do our metaverse for us, please. Our team can't hack it because we fired them. I don't think they would do that right away. Even if they did, it would take probably a year or so in order to build that. Cavernous is pretty busy already, unless they decide to have another third party, let's say like Square Enix, which does all of their Kingdom Hearts games. They might be able to build that a little quicker, because it wouldn't be an actual full-fledged out game. It would just be a free game inside the Veveverse, most likely. But again, I'm talking about a whole bunch of different scenarios that might come true. That being said, Marvel, again, different than Disney. So maybe Marvel happened to have an agreement with Veve before they had one with Disney. And the reason why I'm saying this is because why I liked them, and again, this is my conspiracy theory mind, and a lot of times with my mind, I do connect dots that aren't there. Despite me being right a lot of times about financial stuff, about certain things, I'm just not. I happen to be way off base. But my original thesis was, oh, hey, I don't know if anyone remembers the Marvel Mighties when they first came out. Like, oh, these are little chibi stuff. And I don't know if y'all remember, the Captain America Marvel Mighties took a little while before they had sold out. Like, it didn't sell out the first day. And then when the second Marvel Mighties came out, which was the Fantastic Four, with Doctor Doom, I was live for that, and I was like, I'll buy one, I'll buy another one. Because again, they were only $13. So I wound up buying, I think, 10 or 20 of them. And then I went to buy like another one. I was like, wait a minute, did these just sell out? Because again, selling out right away wasn't really something that we had done with something this big. Again, with these commons that were 28,888 of them. Again, and there were two commons. So 56,000, 57-ish thousand for that, for those. It just didn't seem like it was really possible for us to sell out, but we did. And a lot of people were upset. Oh, hey, this Captain America statue, that's hella awesome. It's heckin' cool, it's animated, it has sound, it punching action, it looks dope. Why isn't that the first appearance? And everyone was salty that the little chibi Captain America, the Steve Rogers, they're sad that he was the first appearance. And there's a good half of people that just didn't like these. They bought it because at that time you could buy pretty much anything and it'll be above retail. So of course they did. And you started to notice a pattern. Oh, hey, all of these in the Captain America first appearance, all these in the Marvel first family, Fantastic Four, are first appearance. And I got to thinking, like, this is very interesting because it's not like it was uniform. Like, we've had other statues that weren't Marvel Mighties. Like, you have Deadpool, you have Storm, not Sue Storm, the actual like Storm, the like Omega level mutant, that are statues and look really cool. That are the first first appearances. So they weren't Marvel Mighties. So they weren't really uniform. But then slowly but surely, every single one of them had first appearances in them, with the exception of that Deadpool Chimichanga truck, which again, it's really weird that that's technically not part of the series, even though it goes on the same line. But I was like, there's got to be a reason why they're giving all of these insane characters the first appearances to the Mighties. And again, maybe they had something planned. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe it just happens to be a thing with Marvel saying, oh, hey, you just can't burn these for whatever reason. Anyway, that's just a theory. Moving on with the rest of the news. So in Veve fandom and Veve events in 2025, I do want to make a Veve prom, like a Veve dance, where you go and you dance and you have music and we all dress up. I just think it'd be fun. A lot of people are into it on Twitter. Comment down below if you'd want to go to that. Wes wants me to put it in on like my private yacht if I were to ever get one. I don't have a boating license. I'm not a strong swimmer. God forbid something went wrong. I could doggy paddle for a while, but I'd get tired. So I'm not sure where we would have it. Comment down below in a place in which you'd want to go to that. I was thinking New York because I live here, but comment down below what you want. So we have a market pulse from Rootless Girl, at Rootless Girl on Twitter. She is Kelly the Veve Fox, saying the weekly market pulse for 4/24, as in 24 April to 1 May. The active wallets were up about 4.7% to 14,537 wallets. The trades were up 12.6% to 36,897. Buyers up 10.3% to 5,941. And the amount of sellers were down 3.3% to 7,203. This is the most bullish Veve market pulse that we've gotten in quite a while. The amount of tokens minted were up 26.5% to 23,270. And the amount of individual minters went up 4.4% to 9,835, and this is with 380 merged accounts, and the amount of tokens transferred via the merge have been 5,716. So shout out to all those peeps. So OMI had retweeted Collective Shift today. Collective Shift has gone on and posted a video last night talking about what is blockchain technology. They have 2,480 subscribers, and their tweet says, "Do you think we can have cryptocurrencies without the blockchain? In our latest guide by @me_metaverse, we explore what blockchain technology is, what the big deal is, and briefly blockchains and their consensus mechanisms." And they post a link to their YouTube and, again, their Twitter. They have 3,405 followers. OMI had tweeted saying, "Just getting started with crypto and blockchain? ? Check out all the free resources available thanks to our research and education partner, @CShift_IO, which stands for Collective Shift." David and Dan had mentioned in the community update that they were going to start marketing soon. I really hope this is not it. If they're watching, again, I don't know really anything about Collective Shift. I'm sure they know what they're talking about. I'm sure they are, they may or may not have the gift of explanation. I don't know. But I really would like a partner of someone with more than 3,000 followers on Twitter and more than 2,400 followers or subscribers over on YouTube. I really would like another marketing strategy outside of that. Really hoping we get some. Just hammering that point home. Moving on. So Veve did go and say, with their own tweet, say MCP update. MCP points, ranks, and levels have been rolled out to all KYC'd users. So if you have KYC'd, you have the MCP. We're aware that point calculations are not perfect, but we're excited to finally get this into your profiles. Again, I know someone that is level 69 right now. Everyone comment nice down below for the 69. And he should be over level 100. But yeah, so it's not just you. If they miscalculated your points, it's not just you. It will get fixed over time. They continue on to say adjustments to points will be organic and ongoing, so expect your ranks to rise and fall as more collectors are onboarded. Stay tuned in the coming weeks for recalibration and a form to submit for more corrections if needed. So y'all can go and do that. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye. Meow, 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 meow.